Hi guys, so a little while ago I bought something from Jamie at Coyote Creations, the guy who made Shunt and Dead Metal, I'm sure a lot of you know, the replicas of anyway, sorry. And in the parcel he gave me two of these little Coyote heads, and I thought these are a really good size for a little RC model, so I've got another one of these things, remembering this time that this way is forward, according to this, which works quite nicely because Coyote's got quite a sort of sloped back. So I'm going to paint up the tyres because they weren't turquoise, I'm thinking. And I've got so many of these. These are the tusks from the little RC Matilda. I've got literally loads of these. And they actually, when you invert them, I've cut these, I've basically done half this model already. When you invert them and cut them in half, they actually look really like the kind of little ramps on the side, the little kind of forks on the side of Coyote. So yeah, that's where we're starting with, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Alright, so what I've done, exactly the same with the Wild Thing model. I've put one of these little covers from the Hexbug football robot things on it to create a sort of good base to stick stuff to. Again, the front is so round, it's really annoying. But I've cut up various sections of the armour panels from the Build Your Own Robots things here. So I've got three of these, which used to be attached to the rest of that. And one of these end ramps, which used to look like that, but I've cut it down a bit so it fits between the wheels a bit better. So this bit is going to be stuck on the front to kind of make a more sort of stickable surface area. And I've got the two inverted Matilda tusks and the actual claws themselves, which I've managed to find a nice little shaft which they go onto pretty nicely. I'm looking at the colour and I'm like, I don't think it's really a gold. That's kind of all I had lying around paint-wise that was close to it. But it's, I don't know, looking at pictures, it's more of a coppery colour. So I think I'm going to have to order some more paint and maybe repaint these in a copper. Just to be as accurate as possible. It'd be a shame if it looked quite good, but the colour was completely wrong. So yeah, I think that's the next stage. Order paint. Okay, scratch that. I've changed my mind about the thing. I found a brown Sharpie and I sort of coloured on here, and it's given us kind of, if you look up close, it just looks like someone's coloured brown Sharpie on something gold. But at a distance, it's kind of the right colour. It's kind of the not perfect tones, as it were. And then I've used a copper pen, which it didn't look right, copper on gold. But I've used that to do the sort of highlights, those sort of little clock piece designs almost, as the cogs and the that sort of thing. Looks a bit better that side, I'd say. So yeah, that's all good. It's going to be kind of a bit of a build up of parts. I've got to put this bit on first to kind of give everything something to mount to, then these, and then I've got that sort of the little ramps in between. These will go either side like this, and then that sort of on top. And I think that should complete the front quite nicely, actually. And I've got, remember ages ago with the Mr. Psycho, I had like a digger arm thing, and it's got these lovely piston bits. So the claw, it probably isn't going to move, but I can mount that here so at least it looks like it's got a sort of something, you know, the ram to make it move on the back, just to add that little level of detail. The chainsaw was going to be just this, but I think that's a bit lacking in anything interesting. So I'm going to go into town in a minute and look through the charity shop, see if I can pick up a tiny chain from like a piece of old jewellery or something, and then sort of build a little chainsaw replica, just to add that little extra level of detail. But yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. Okay, so I'm back from town. I found some small chains in a little haberdashery. However, while I was there, I also found this zip, which I think will be much better for kind of getting across the little gnarly spiky bits on a chainsaw. So I'm going to sort of make that and sort of run this around the outside. I think that'll look a lot better. I think I went for a chunkier zip because I think it was a bit bolder. The smaller ones weren't quite as obvious, as it were, so it might be a little bit out of scale or anything, but I think the visuals will justify it, as it were. Right, the front's come together quite nicely, to be honest. Really pleased with sort of how it's all got together. I hope it sort of stands up. There's a lot of glue in there, but hopefully it's sort of reasonably robust. And those forks are nice and low to the ground when it drives along, even a tiny little bit of wigglage there, but nothing major. The next step for this bit will be fixing on some side panels and that sort of back arm a bit. Annoyingly, these are just slightly, well, almost the same sort of flush level with the wheels, so I need these out very slightly so I can put the side arm around there, because otherwise these wheels can be grinding right up against it. But otherwise, like I say, really pleased with the way that's come out. Likewise, here's a chainsaw, which I'm really pleased with. I think that looks quite fun. I think, like I say, it looks a little bit cartoony because of the size of the teeth, but then it's, you know, it was only a sort of decorative sort of thing before, so it's almost homage to that, as it were. So yeah, gonna work out a way to wedge that on the back, and then yeah, we won't be far off done. Right, so 7 months later, here's the final version. I'm very pleased with how it looks, and that's sort of more what I was going for, like a few of these more, I'm going to use the word recent very loosely here, builds. I'm going, yeah, I seem to be going a bit more for like the model making side of it, making them look like they're meant to, more than anything. But I'm particularly pleased with the chainsaw on the back. I think it looks, I don't know, kind of almost a bit cartoony, but I don't know, better than the crappy one that was on the Matilda toy many years ago. So yeah, let's talk no more and give it a test drive. Let's do that. Cool, so that was a really fun test drive. It was bouncing around all over the place. Obviously it's literally just forward and backwards, left and right, so the jaws don't work, but just the speed that it was hitting things, occasionally it was picking them up and pulling them back. So that was good fun. I managed to do that. And if you got I found this actually kind of pulled the wheels off the ground if you get the chainsaw on, but then when you were like spinning, it was kind of vibrating as if it was chainsawing into stuff, so kind of visually it looked quite good. I was quite pleased with that. Yeah, a little bit of damage, a few little bits to come off, but otherwise very pleased. You may notice that this isn't quite where I usually do the ending to my videos, and I've moved house, so I've got a video explaining sort of, you know, that, well, you know how that works, but showing you around the new workshop basically, and that is why there's been quite an absence for some time. But yes, that'll be in another video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, and cheerio.